And I'm gonna tell you this, ladies, I was a massive Bad Boy fan. I grew up in New York. Like, I was like all about it. And then once I started seeing all these stories, I'm like, yo. So now I feel dirty because I supported this man. I bought his records. I would talk good about him. And now all this stuff is coming out about him. Do I think he's going to go to jail? I think yes, he is. I think they're going to get him. I do think they're going to get him.
Let me ask you
But
this, Mike. So you not separate the music from the man, because the music has, in a sense, really nothing to do with the man per se. And this was the thing that they were saying about R. Kelly. There was like, he made some amazing music. You got two things here. He did great things on this side, and he's done horrible things on this side. So is the music not still great, even though he did bad things? I mean, it's like, you're not a dirty person. So just because you supported him in the past, thank you, Celine Dion. He wrote for Celine Dion. It was an amazing, beautiful song. But is that not separated? That was also a debate in reference to R. Kelly's music. Can you not separate the amazing things that he did on one side, even though, and he's a conflicted man, and you missed that earlier. He is a conflicted man because he's not living in his truth. And because he's not living in his truth, that allowed him to do some horrible things to other people. And I honestly believe that when you don't live in your truth of who you are, if you are gay, if you are whatever your preference is, that's on you, because you have to be the one that's going to answer to the Almighty. But because people have suppressed energy or suppressed feelings, it comes outward the wrong way, and it tends to start hurting other people. And I think because he was a hurt person, it came out and started hurting other people. We in for a ride. We are in for
yeah,
a ride. And yes, I agree. He is a sociopath.
He's
Um,
sick.
he's a very sick individual. He is definitely a definition of a narcissist.
Hmm.
the greatest thing I've ever seen, sis, and I say sis because we're all brothers and sisters in God. The best thing I ever seen is that when somebody goes through abuse and doesn't repeat it, they break the cycle. They break away from that because abuse breeds abuse within your mind. In other words, if you're abused, you automatically think that's acceptable and you abuse other people, whether it's physically, mentally, S word wise. You pass on that hatred. So you're taught to be like degradation. So people that have been abused and don't and are loving fathers or loving mothers and never pass that on, I have the most respect for in the world. Go ahead, ladies.
Let me interject here. Go back to like where society saw a breaking point. Remember
Mhm.
when there was the video where he had on a wig? Do y'all
Yeah,
remember that?
I
Okay,
Yes.
saw
I
that.
just
Yeah,
said
I
it
remember
as a
that.
breaking point. I said something is wrong. Something's going. It's not just typically alcohol or drugs, because those things mask what's going on. Strip all that away. Get rid of music. Why is a grown man, a handsome man, we're sitting there with a wig on? See, there's something going on, especially if you're around people all the time. We just don't do certain things.
Yeah,
Humans just don't do certain things and go to certain extents. He's just unwinding. There's something
yeah,
going on here, but he has to be stopped. He has to be brought in, as they say. He's not, understand, when a person is arrested, they're not being beaten. They're just being brought in. They're not okay to be in society. If the doctors can't get him under control, and apparently they couldn't, if local law enforcement, nobody, then hey, it's time to come in. Come on, buddy. It's going to be okay. All right,
All
all
right. So
right.
hold
He
on for a second.
simply
Somebody
get
actually
on
made
in.
a comment and said that gangster rap read the words that are filled. So is rock and roll. So if we I just need to put that on there. I mean, each music of genre had something that was kind of crazy about it. So I just want to put that in for a second. So
Oh,
Brenda, I want to give you an opportunity to respond to Mr. Mike and Mrs. Lisa. Did you have a comment, ma'am?
I did. Okay, and my comment is these people are not like us. That's number one. They're not like us. We live in the light, they live in the dark. If you ever been, you ever felt what you was in, that cloud, they're in a cloud of evil, darkness. Darkness. They're not like us. They do crazy things. Okay? They are above. Okay? Satan is a liar. And they don't believe it. They're not like us. That's why they sit around. He wasn't even high when he was wearing that wig. He's not even high or drugs when he do these things.
I've
They don't
noticed.
think like us.
I noticed that anytime I see him now, he just, because he's taken so many drugs, he looks so different in the face. Thank you, Sheba. I appreciate that. Meow. So, Mike, just so you know, the men on our show are called tomcats, just so you know. So the women are okay. So you're a tomcat here on the show. So I just want you to know that, okay? Okay. So I just want to make sure that you know that you are
I'm mad secure with myself, sis. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
okay. But you're a masculine tomcat. So I just want to make sure that you know
Yeah,
that you
yeah.
are a tomcat of the show for tonight. But
Yeah.
but you know, at the end of the day, we find it, we're so engulfed. Why are we engulfed with all of this drama? It's like we can't get away from it. It's like
Are
we
you asking me?
no, it's just a general question.
Oh,
Like we are so engulfed. We're so, whether it's Trump, whether it's Diddy, whether it's Cat Williams, whether it's we're so engulfed with all of this craziness. Why? Is it a distraction?
and that's a great question. And now, being someone who, I'll be very careful what I'm going to say right now. Like the military will divert you. The things will happen all of a sudden to divert, from something else going on. So you're right. You're exactly right. So is this just diversion or is this the truth? Is it real? Is it fake? But I think real quick, I think Cat Williams is spitting knowledge like you wouldn't believe. I believe everything Cat Williams is saying. I think he is like a bastion of truth. He got inside that circle and he's spitting knowledge. And you're right. Things will happen and then you'll redirect your attention somewhere else and you'll forget what you were just talking about over here. We're focused on this over here and all of a sudden there's an earthquake. Now we're thinking about this because a lot of us, not
Nobody's talking about the bridge that collapsed,
Right.
and people died. Nobody's
You,
talking
you
about
can't,
that.
yeah, you can't get off focus. Okay, let me give you an idea. All right, I mean, give you a word of advice. I run a national. I didn't want to say it, but I run a national school.
Right afterwards.
Promoting.
Go ahead.
Now, nothing can. It depends on your focus. Elderly people that I've come across, they don't know P Diddy. So it's just the popular in crowd, the hip, the whole 9 yards. People who want to stay in with the latest, hottest, trendiest thing in this particular lane. Say you have 5 lanes. There's only one lane that P Diddy and all this is going in. Most people dealing with that I know of, and I'm in my 60s, they're dealing with the tragedy in reference to the boat. They're dealing with the elections. They're not dealing with this stuff over here. They don't deal with the streets. So I get behind my computer. I just happen to have been chilled out, and I said, "Oh, who is this?" You see. So other than that, my husband don't even deal with it. He drives a truck. Kids are in their school books. They discuss a little bit. They keep going. So don't let it get the best of you. They're going to handle everything. Trust you me, it's great conversation, but they're going to handle everything. And in the word to the wise is sufficient. If somebody wants to repeat or be another P. Diddy, go right on ahead. If you think you want to be a part of the Sicilian Mafia and start some mess, it took a long time to get them gangs settled. But now they got him. You see,
So
so it takes a lot.
no doubt, no doubt. So
All right, so
are you
let me-
retired law enforcement? Are you retired law enforcement?
yeah, she
Yeah.
is.
Me also. So HSI coming in. HSI is a very, very important part of Homeland Security. HSI is basically like FBI for Homeland Security. These are very serious people. And when they raided his 3 houses at the same time, the amount of manpower and women power, there were women there too, don't get me wrong, but the amount of bouncing, we call it bouncing on somebody, you know, they had to have concrete evidence going in because P. Diddy is one of the most famous men in the world. Okay. You cannot go raid his 3 houses without concrete evidence because he can turn around and do a civil lawsuit against the government, you know, for a whole bunch of money. So this entire thing is crazy. But I think, sis, I think they've been surveilling him for a while.
It
For
had
a
to.
while, they've been surveilling him, you know?
Most
Go
definitely.
ahead.
Most
They,
definitely.
they,
Well, hold on. Let me let Miss Lisa get a chance in. Go ahead, Miss Brenda. Go ahead, Miss Brenda.
I'm really tired of talking.
Okay, Miss
I'm gonna
Brenda.
get back to what he's talking about. Okay, that's what's coming up next. Okay, that's what we need to be worried about. Okay, because we don't know what these people are doing, what they're doing to us. Our country is being attacked all the time. They don't talk about it. All we hear about is Diddy and this one and that. And who's interested? What are we going to do about that? Why do we care? You get what your hand called for.
What's going to be interesting?
And him, I really don't care. He deserves it. Him and all the rest. You chose the darkness. Bye.
So,
Bye.
so today is April the 8th.
Much better place without the dark people.
Well, I would love for that to happen. So let me say this. Today is April 8th, and does everybody know what's transpiring today?
The solstice.
oh yes,
The yeah.
yeah, the
So we need to be paying attention to what's going to happen today. We need to pay attention to all of the things that's going to happen today.
We might have the lights go out on them. A whole lot of things they said might happen. But you know what? I'm gonna put my hand in God's hand, and whatever.
Yes. Yes.
I got Mike. I want to say something. You brought up something earlier, and I want everybody to understand. This wasn't a regular
Right.
see anything array. This went before the grand jury. Okay, first. Now, if y'all understand grand juries, they're different from juries. He's already guilty. He's already been found guilty. You might as well say that because I worked with grand juries before. Grand juries, they come together, they listen, and they look at all the.
Uh-oh.
Then they okay.
It's all good. You're back.
We're gonna win the case. Period. That's what the federal government does generally is they go to the first. Don't see this case as they like local police officers do, because federal move different from local. Local, they have little small stuff, murder here, murder there, and all that other stuff. They're not really stepping on anybody's toes. Okay, but when you hit that federal government jurisdiction, it's totally different. They always, just like O.J. Simpson, they took it to the grand jury to prove to you, we're going to get you. We're going to get you now. Okay? You know,
that's what I said. I said they was tapping him on the hand. I said this was a slap on the hand to say, look, we want you to know that we can get to you at any time.
Yeah.
And this was
wow, man. I think he was always cooperating. He's just sick, man. He's doing too much. But when that grand jury, man, that's vicious. Look up the difference between grand jury and jury. Okay, a grand jury is behind the doors, and there could be like 12 members, 16 members, whatever, and they take whatever evidence they have, and then they present it. and then they take their time and they go over it. They nobody talking. They just go over it and this, that, and the other. And then they have witnesses to meet with the grand jury, all that stuff. There's like a trial before there's a trial. And
Yes,
that's
yes.
why they were able to get the warrant to go in there and let's get it on. See, did
You-
say
It's about to go down. That's all I can tell you guys. It's about to go down. Well, I want
grand
to
jury,
say thank you
but
to
you
all
are
of you.
done.
Right.
perfectly said.
Mike, you gonna say something real quick before we
I
chime
said
out?
she said it was perfectly said. I mean, basically, there's a difference. People don't understand municipal. In other words, municipal is like your local law enforcement, right? It's the courthouse down the street from your house, and then there's federal. It's two completely different things. Federal has the power to surveil you all over the world, and he's
I need to ask this question. This is super duper important. At one point in time, his plane was over the water and the box was turned off. And I honestly feel like he was dumping things in the ocean. Or he wasn't on the plane at the time, but other people were. And so I feel like he was dumping evidence in the ocean at that moment in time. Because why would the box?
You know
It's
what?
possible. If you're at a low altitude, if you're at a lower altitude, that you can actually have a hatch where you can drop things out. The drug smugglers used to do it. They would go to a lower altitude where it wasn't pressurized, and they would drop stuff in the water. So it is possible. Go ahead, please.
They don't at this point, they don't care about all that. They want them logs and they trying to get what they got to get. All this extra stuff. Now let me tell you this. Now keep in mind, they knew just as soon as we do this raid. Hey guys, they say this in the meeting room. Hey guys, we're gonna be talking about left and right. So let's get ready. And we just sit around and laugh. I've been so many of them darn meetings with the federal government, stuff y'all ain't never heard of and seen. And they go, okay, we always have that meeting. Okay, where everybody's just sitting back with the chairs. Okay, all right. So.
I agree with you both on that behalf. But let me say this. If Diddy got something on somebody, you can't tell me he ain't getting some kind of pass. Okay.
He better bring up somebody that the law enforcement don't know about, because the law enforcement gonna say we ain't no more deals, we in charge. If they say, but I got one more fish hook, I got one more. What is it? Tell us something we don't know.
Okay. I hear what you guys are saying about what, because both of you are law enforcement, and then we have our spiritual leader on here, Miss Brenda. I hear everything y'all said, because that's what I'm gonna call Miss Brenda. She's on the spiritual side. Not that you guys aren't. I want to make it seem like you guys aren't, Mike and Lisa. But what I was saying is this. Okay, right. Okay. I honestly feel Diddy has something, right? Because, like you said, for them to, we're talking about this thing was timed perfectly. They was at all of the properties at the same dang time. In my future voice, okay? They raided them they synchronized this whole raid. So for them to plan this at the same time, we know they got something on him. Otherwise, they would not have gone in. But the thing was perplexing me personally. Okay, personally, with all this that you got on him, why hasn't he been arrested? He should have been arrested. He should have been arrested. Go ahead, Mike. Say what you're gonna say.
The reason why he hasn't been arrested yet is there. So in other words, if you have one victim or you have two victims, then you're going to prosecute that person because you have that concrete evidence. But there are so many victims involved. They haven't corroborated their statements. They haven't proven what they're saying is true, because you're going to have a bunch of people that are going to jump onto this that never been touched, but they're going to say they were. So HSI has to go through who's telling the truth, who isn't telling the truth. He can, trust me, they can let him be free for a while. It's just like this. Let me give you an example. You do a horrible crime, right? And you get off on bail, right? And you're out. You're all out on bail. And they let you, they let you roam free, but they watching you. You ain't going nowhere. They know
Yeah.
exactly where you are.
But he ain't
And
trying
I
to go
think
nowhere.
that
He ain't trying
He's
to
not.
I'm
go nowhere.
saying,
He's acting very arrogant to me. Okay, he's
yeah,
No, he's
acting
not
so
hurting.
arrogant.
He's not hiding nothing. You're right, Mike. You watching him. He's not hiding anything. Nothing. Just let him go. See, what people don't seem to understand is that the paperwork behind all of so many crimes, there's so many um,
yeah,
jurisdictions involved. I mean, you got to go through every bit. They're just getting started here. You got to go through all of the airplane, the records at the airports, at the hangars. You got to go through overseas. They got to get all types of approvals and all this. They're just saying, "We got you, boo boo. We got you." See, after
exactly.
that, you go right, left, and right. They typing. Oh yeah, they going over everything because when it's time to hit the courts, you're gonna see those little trucks with them boxes stacked. Yeah, high, boom, 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 and just
Yeah.
rolling them in. Because mess up and making a mess like they did R. Kelly. That was messy. But it's gonna be a good
So
one this.
sis, if they come in and they snatch him now without all the corroborating evidence, in other words, if they come and take him now, and there's inconsistencies in the testimonies, they can throw it out in court. They're waiting to have everything concrete before they charge
And
him.
they knew everybody's
That's
gonna
what
lawyer up.
they're
They
doing.
everybody lawyer. Get your
Yeah.
lawyers. Everybody get out. No, law enforcement is not
Yeah.
surprised by what you do. This ain't their first rodeo. Okay? They just got to make
And,
sure they got everything and the who, what, where, how, why, and which for every sentence. That is the federal government. They got a Hillary. They got a hellified record. They know you're gonna get
and
the best
I think
lawyer.
and I think it's disgusting that the whole Epstein stuff hasn't come out yet. I mean, I'm not trying to switch gears, but
Yeah.
it's the same kind of thing. It's
the same
trafficking. It's
It's
women being abused. It's underage women, and I think that it's disgusting to me that we don't have that list yet. And yeah, because
And,
I don't
and you
mind
don't
saying
think
it. I
they
don't.
Jake, TD Jakes? Oh yeah,
say this.
they bringing in the pack.
I'm going to say this. And I'm playing a devil's advocate here. I gotta take back the reins of the show. Uh Girls and their parents hold some responsibility. Okay. So if there are underage girls or guys being at at this event, where is the responsibility? They hold some responsibility themselves. Okay, they want to be in the limelight. They want to be seen. They want the lifestyle. They want this. So there's some level of responsibility that falls on them too. Yes, they were wrong for taking children if they did over they need to be held accountable for that. But please, please understand that they too need to take some responsibility for their actions. For their action, same with R. Kelly. A lot of those girls, even their parents were putting them all up against him. Okay, and that was proven on that portion of it. We saw it, but at the end of the day, has to be accountability on both sides, on
Yeah.
both.
But
If you,
look at I'm sorry. Go
Mhm.
ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead, honey. Go ahead.
Look at Russell Simmons' daughter. Did you see that story? She's
Lord,
21, dating
I
a
got
65-year-old man.
But you can't say nothing. She grown. Here's how the law works.
right.
This is
That's the
what
thing.
social
She's
services
21
did.
years old. Is as
Yeah,
much as I
social
hate that whole
services.
story. Wait, hold on for a second, Lisa. As much as I hate seeing that, I'm like, that could be his granddaughter. But she is 21 years old. Okay. She is not underage. She's 21 and she knows what she is doing. Okay. She
That's
clearly
right.
knows what she's doing. She is not under the influence at all. They did not look like under the influence on the beach. Okay. He has a record of dating young girls also, by the way. He was with another young model right before that one. So, but that just in itself, like, dude, are you serious right now? That could be your granddaughter. Are you serious? Like, he's a
I
got
pervert.
told this.
Crazy.
I
so
told this
social.
story before. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Seth, go
Let me just interject this right. The law didn't make the cutoff age. Social services said at the age of 18, you are an adult. No matter if your mother looks at you as a child, everybody sees you as a young person. 1 second over 17, 18, you are grown. I just wish people quit acting like they're 18 and could stop celebrating their 18th birthday every single day of their life. And that's what he's doing. That old man just keeps celebrating 18. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Come on now. Everybody got to grow up. But 18 is where it's at. It's on you after that. You can date a 100-year-old man. I don't care.
That was a question yesterday. So I was trying to look that up too, because in some states the legal age is 17, the legal age
Yeah.
is 16. So the question is, what is the actual legal age in this particular case with Diddy? So if he is supposedly having underage children, underage girls, okay, they're not 12 or anything like that, but they must, if they're underage 16, 17, 18, 60, I'll say 16, 17. Okay. Lord God forbid, I hope to God he don't have no 15-year-old in there, 16. But hold on. But is it, remember, some states recognize ages at a
Right.
different level. So how is that? I think that might be a loophole if you're taking a girl from one state and she's willing. So that's the thing. Did she give consent? There is also a level of
ahead.
consent.
Now,
There's
Go ahead.
Sid,
does
go
the
ahead.
federal government recognize age 18 as the gold number, and it
That's
goes for all states?
Not always, sis. So
Okay.
each state sets their own boundaries. I
Right.
believe that West Virginia has the lowest one. I think it's like 14 or 15. But there's
that's
something
fine.
called the Jack and there's something called the Jack and Jill law. So what it
Yeah.
basically means is if somebody is with a woman, a man is with a woman, it has to be no more than 4 year difference. But I mean, that's disgusting. You could be 18 dating a 14-year-old. Yo, that's gross. That's gross. It's
Now,
disgusting. You know what I'm saying?
Mike, you agree there is a law. It's called indecent liberties with a minor. That's why I'm saying he
Mhm.
can't get any of this. You don't. It doesn't have to be rape or any sexual offense. No, just indecent liberties with a minor will get you. That'll get you in the door. That'll get
But
any adult in the door. And then
but
that's
sis,
like
but
Let me say,
internationally, like when they were doing this stuff overseas, yo, you can go to the Middle East. Listen, ladies, this is
they marry
disgusting for me to say.
13-year-olds and
In the
12-year-olds.
Middle East, a grown man can marry a 9-year-old. It's disgusting.
Yes,
That's
yes,
disgusting.
it is. It's ridiculous. They're marrying 12 and they show that. They show that these old men are marrying these young girls, and the girls look miserable. So hold on for a second. Somebody, let me say this part. Yeah, it is about money. Brenda said, and she's on the phone, but she's also commenting that she lives in the hood and young girls are hot and they lie about their age and they look the part. And that ain't got nothing to do with the hood. That's every community. Okay. Whether it's the trailer park, excuse me, whether it's the trailer park or whether it's the hood. Okay. Everybody lying about their age when they're young. Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody, oh, I'm 18 and you 17. I'm 18 and you 15. Yes, yeah, I'll say some of them are tricking. Yes, and I'll say they're getting false IDs. I remember, we did that in high school to get into the club. And if you
Go
say
ahead.
you do it, you lying. How many times back in the day, because I'm 56, did you hear somebody getting a fake ID?
Mhm.
Okay. But it happened. And how many times did you hear that somebody in high school was dating somebody that was way older than them and picking
Right.
them up from school? We talked about that. Okay. So it's not like, so although Mike is saying it is disgusting, please understand this has been a fabric of this United States history, world history, that older men have been dating young girls. So it ain't like it's something new. It's been happening.
Mhm.
Okay. Don't act like, oh, I mean, that's why I said there's a level of hypocrisy on one side. And but then it's like, oh my God, on the other side. It's like it's crazy to me. It's
Now, let
absolutely
me give you an example of what you're saying, and then I want you to bring it in. Let's
crazy.
use a young girl and Aaliyah. Let's use her being underage and Jay Z. Now, Jay Z dropped out of school. Jay Z didn't go to college. Jay Z didn't finish the 12th grade. When you stop your educational climb, you tend to regress. Okay. Now, he is nothing but a ninth grader. That's how he sees world through the eyes of a ninth grader. He's not a graduate of anything. Okay. So to him, he's cool. She's cool. Tickle, tickle. He thinks it's funny. Now, if you go to a college graduate or somebody with a master's degree, they don't have time for that. You see the maturity level. He's still climbing that ladder. If you a person with a PhD, I mean, it's gonna be a long shot, not unless you really immature. But this brother only dropped out in the ninth grade. Come on now, how smart can he be? You're talking about
Well,
ninth grade now.
evidently
I
he is
remember I was
smart.
in ninth grade.
Evidently he is smart. He's a billionaire and he climbed his way up to the top and he worked his way out of the hood. So that level of, just because he didn't finish education doesn't mean an individual is not smart. folks who are
He's
folks who are running dealing with drugs are running actual corporations. If they took that mindset and put it into operating a legitimate business, that would be a totally different ballgame. So there is a level of intelligence that he has. It's just that, once again, people think that they can get away with things and do what they want to do without yes, he had the street smarts, without suffering the consequences. And then Private Banker says his prom date was 24.
is what?
His prom date was 24 years old. Like, why's she trying to go to prom? For one, at 24, I mean,
That
women mature more than men, and she 24. And how were like, are you serious, Private Banker? I'm so glad you were able to admit that. But at the end of the day, don't act like this stuff didn't happen. Now
now,
they
do
just
you know that
in place.
Bitcoin is what gave him what's called that title? He doesn't have cash money, billions of dollars. No, it was the Bitcoin that did that. That's not real like money as you and I know it. No.
Well, I beg to differ because I'm actually a trader, and
Huh?
Bitcoin may be, I beg to differ on that part, because even though it is not a tangible, it is a digital item that you are
Yeah.
still able to make purchases from, and you can actually go to the ATM and pull out actual cash from Bitcoin being converted in the blockchain. So I kind of gotta, because that's my arena right there. So I kind of beg to differ on if it's
Public
actual money as
understands.
it is money. Okay.
Public understands. Like if I told my mother, "Oh, he's a billionaire," her mind's going to go see
Yeah, her
big.
mind is going to think about it being
Not
cash.
gonna think Bitcoin.
Yes, but at
That's
the end
what
of the day, we're in different times right now. And the
right.
fact that we're in
Exactly.
different times, we're in digital. The dollar is being reduced, is not worth a dime. You got Brex that's in play, that is China, Russia, Kazakhstan, all these other countries, so they can block the dollar, and we no longer have it. So we do have to get gold and silver, and we also have to get doggone cryptocurrency, because that's the only way we're going to be able to survive, because the dollar is going down. So
This
I
is
don't want to bring that
yeah.
class this session, because that is definitely my arena. Okay, that's my arena right there. But when they sat up there and decided that they were going to come together and say, "Hey, we're about to push out the dollar. Let's come together." African countries, Russia and all of them, it's like, okay, we need to wake the heck up. And if you ain't got your credit on point, so you can start leveraging other money to start buying some properties, getting some crypto, getting some gold, getting some silver, we all going to be messed up. All of us. There is no middle class anymore. There's no middle class. It's either going to be the haves or the have-nots. And then here it is. Now we're going to be even more so. When people don't have, guess what? They start doing things that they shouldn't be doing. They start taking out their frustrations out on their wives, on their husbands, on their kids. This is where a lot of stuff is getting ready to go down. And we got to be smart and say, okay, let's roll this back, not be totally distracted. Because we are a distracted world. Everybody else is advancing faster than us, and we're the ones that's distracted. India's doing all the customer service. All the Asian countries are, they own part of the United States. I mean, like, what the heck is going on? Like, we're no longer number one, and we're going to be the ones that's going to be looking like Boo Boo the Fool at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, you got something to say?
Very well said. No, very well said. And basically, the American dollar is going to collapse. And you're right. China is trying to overtake them as the largest landowner. They're buying up farmland in Canada, in Missouri, in Mississippi. Like, why are you buying up land in these places? Because they're trying to strangle us. The fentanyl crisis. The fentanyl comes from China. That's where it comes from. And they are K-wording massive amounts of Americans. So this is all by design. This is not like a mistake. What I'm trying to say, ladies, is that they're attacking America right now, monetarily, using drugs, and now the migrants.
But you can't be willing to do drugs like that. That's what I don't get. See, the pharmaceutical companies, it's like, how does somebody know what fentanyl was? What is the other drug that begins with a K? How did they know this? This was all locked up in hospitals. My mother was a nurse, head nurse of 3 hospitals. How did they find this out? It made its way to the streets. Well, you have to blame some of the doctors who are on drugs, some of the nurses doing stuff, getting their pockets aligned, and think, oh, you do it this way. Some of the chemists, some of the pharmacists, they showed them how to do this because these people are not that bright. You can't give them that. Yeah, you give them some, look what they did. Okay, but as far as trying to duplicate those drugs, okay, that is somebody that's in chemistry, whatever. It's not killing them, but honey, they're able to duplicate that drug. Because some people know how to really play that line, that thin line, where between life and death. Okay, heroin. I was here in the '60s, and I saw people, strung out on heroin in Pittsburgh. It was so sad, but we got over it. But it's going to take some time to get over this. People are they kill.
So I want to say this in closing. I want to say, first of all, because we on 3 hours. Lord have mercy. Mike, I want to thank you so much for being our Tomcat of the night. We so appreciate you. I hope that you have subscribed, and I hope that you come back so we can continue to have amazing dialogue. This has been a great session. I really appreciate you being here. Officer Lisa, we are so grateful for your amazing insight, as well as Mike, both of you being on the law side, being able to give us a different type of perspective about what is going on with P. Diddy, how he can be arrested, how that the whole landscape of the Homeland Security went up in there, and that they definitely had some evidence. So we are truly grateful for you guys' input. And Miss is spiritual leader over here, Miss Brenda. We want to say thank you so much for reeling us in and letting us know that we need to make sure that we are in the light and not in the dark. So we love you, kitty cat over there, Miss Brenda. We appreciate you so much. And I just want to say, guys, this has been an amazing episode. thank you so very much for being here tonight. All I can say is, we had an amazing cast. Mr. Mike, I hope he comes back as our Tomcat again, and Officer Lisa as our kitty cat. She's a kitty cat. She's not a kitten. She's a kitty cat. And of course, the lovely Miss Brenda. So I'm going to ask you guys, throw me a little bit of love here tonight. If you thought the show was good tonight, drop me a cash app. Okay, drop me a little something, something. If not, then go on over to the store and get your Tomcat shirt or get your kitten or your meow. But I do have to say this. If you like tonight's session, can you put a meow in the chat? Put a meow in the chat for me, everybody, and send me a little cash out, because we want to continue to keep doing this. This was great dialogue. Stephen, thank you for your comments. Thank you, Mrs. Brenda. You were amazing. Private Banker, you dirty little man. You've been messing with a cougar, okay? He was over there messing with a cougar. All right. Hopefully you can come up next time, but we are forever grateful. Meow. Come on, Tomcats. Come on, kitty cats. Come on, kittens. Go ahead and give us a little bit of a meow for tonight. We appreciate it. We'll be back.
Yeah.